Inside Edition welcomes you to the flagship city of New England, Boston, Massachusetts.
Won the bird in 10 minutes.
It's exclusive. They're going to take us inside.
This woman knows how dangerous Erwin Hartford is. He assaulted her. These parents say Erwin held their child at knife point, but this judge set him free. Now, Erwin's been charged with the murder of a 13-year-old boy.
He gave Erwin permission to go out and kill somebody.
Today, a town's sorrow turns to rage.
2, 1. Zoom in, camera 1.
His thrill is the excitement of the fire.
And John Orr should know what he's talking about. He was one of the top arson investigators around until he was caught red-handed and branded a serial arsonist. Today, what sparked this firefighter to become a firebug?
Script is in.
Chicago, we're coming to you first.
Audio check, 1, 2.
Then to L.A.
It's been compared to the infamous Brinks heist, an estimated $200 million worth of priceless art stolen and never recovered.
Oh, it's definitely a loss to humanity.
This phony Hollywood screenwriter was busted once while attempting a suspiciously similar crime. Was he involved in the art heist of the century?
Stand by.
Hello, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching Inside Edition today. We are in one of the nicest parts of Boston, the Public Gardens, surrounded by Beacon Hill, where the governor holds court. A little later on, we'll report on one of Boston's most spectacular art thefts, but is the law closing in on whoever did it? But first, our headline story. A 13-year-old Massachusetts boy is brutally murdered, and the suspect is a man many feel should not have been on the streets. Tony Cox with the story of a town in anguish.
You've seen this scene many times, too many times perhaps. A suspect carted off to jail after a gruesome crime. But this time, something different happened. This time, the anguish of the victim's family exploded into rage as a stepbrother and a stepfather tried to exact their revenge.
They should give him to me. Give him to me. He took my kid's life. Let me take his.
Who could blame him? His stepson died a terrible death. The young boy was sexually assaulted and bludgeoned in the woods near his home in Haverhill, Massachusetts. 13-year-old P.J. Davis was a good kid, an honor student who loved baseball and fishing. He was an outgoing kid, a friendly kid, maybe a little friendlier than he should have been.
He was just way too trusting. And unfortunately, he trusted this one a little bit too much, and that's the way it ended.
PJ had gone fishing with friends at Plug Pond last month when he was lured away by a stranger who said he knew where to find turtles weighing hundreds of pounds. The next day, police officers found the boy's battered, naked body buried under a pile of leaves.
He just never had a chance. No high school proms, no dates, no nothing. Never got his driver's license. And he was going so far. I love you, PJ.
But the tears of sorrow turned into tears of fury and frustration when the family, friends, and the entire city found out that the suspect, an ex-con named Erwin Buddy Hartford, had many brushes with the law and always got off easy.
They were crazy letting him out because a guy that has a record like that, they should just burn to hell.
There seems to be enough blame to go around. Former mental health counselor Kathleen Grover says she was kidnapped by Buddy Hartford 5 years ago, but the DA, Kevin Burke, let him cop a plea, and he only served 2 years in jail.
If it had been pursued, if the kidnapping charges were pressed, there was also other charges on top of it. And if he had been found guilty of all of them, including the kidnapping, there would have been a good chance he could have still been in jail today and this kid wouldn't be dead.
And then there is the judge, Norman Brissom, who just 5 months ago acquitted Buddy Hartford of indecent assault on a minor. The parents of that young boy expressed their anger in this exclusive interview with Inside Edition.
He owes the Davis family, he owes a lot of people, especially us, for leaving the guy on the street.
He gave Irwin permission to go out and kill somebody. He actually, I mean, he should have went out and done it himself. He gave this guy permission to do it.
In many ways, their son Brian Jr. was a lot like P.J. Davis. He was 12 years old when 27-year-old Irwin Hartford allegedly tried to molest him, and he was very trusting. Brian Jr.'s family is friendly with Hartford's family, and Brian Jr. thought Hartford was being friendly when he lured him away during a family outing last summer. But Hartford then allegedly locked him in a trailer and kept him at knife point overnight.
Brian said he pulled a knife on him and asked him to do sexual things. My son said nothing severe happened, but he kept trying to sexually do things with him.
Despite the testimony of the young boy, Judge Brissom said there was reasonable doubt that a crime had been committed and let Buddy Hartford go.
I said to the DA right in the courtroom, as a matter of fact, that if the judge couldn't see his story when he let him go, that he was going to end up killing a child.
Brian Jr. was devastated, and P.J. Davis's death only made matters worse, so much worse that the Dames had to send their son away to recover from the shock.
I believe that he believes that Buddy's going to get out somehow. He doesn't believe the system is going to work, no, because it didn't work for him.
Now it's the same Judge Brissom who is handling the murder case. He would not talk to Inside Edition, but he told a local newspaper reporter that he did the best he could. Meanwhile, Inside Edition caught up with Kevin Burke, the DA who let Hartford cop a plea in the Kathleen Grover kidnapping case.
The most important thing that we wanted to do, and that we accomplished under the circumstances, was to get Mr. Hartford incarcerated. No one can anticipate someone's conduct 5 years down the road.
Your conscience is clear about everything that's happened in this case.
I don't have any problem regarding the handling of this case by my office.
Police Chief Daniel Fasulo hopes that this time Hartford is put behind bars for good.
We're not magicians. We just can't manufacture something. We need evidence. I'm hoping in this case, and going beyond hoping, that I close all the doors, that I've got enough physical evidence, that I got enough circumstantial evidence, that I got enough of everything to tie it in and close the door on them completely.
It is a hope that the Davises, the Dames, Kathleen Grover, and the entire city of Haverhill, Massachusetts share.
Well, Irwin Hartford has been judged competent to stand trial. His next hearing is set for the end of August. Much more ahead as we continue from Boston. He says he is a Hollywood screenwriter, but did he pull off a spectacular art heist here in Boston? And did a top arson investigator start a series of deadly fires?
The authorities are indicating that they found incendiary devices in his house. They simply did not. What they found were things that you could make an incendiary device with.
Inside Edition has been following the story of a California arson investigator who shocked just about everybody after he was arrested for setting a string of fires. Now there are new developments.
For 4 years, there was an arsonist loose in the Los Angeles area. He used time delay devices to set fires in retail stores during business hours. He may have even set a brush fire that destroyed 64 homes. Fire investigators say he appeared to be a true pyromaniac. He may have even derived sexual satisfaction from the fires he set, a profile that accounts for just 1% of all arsonists. Officials called in an arson investigator, one of the best in the business and a frequent speaker at arson conferences, John Orr.
In all likelihood, he has a scanner and is monitoring our calls. His thrill is the equipment, the excitement of the fire, and the pandemonium he is creating. He stands back and watches all the neighbors running to extinguish the fire. He's there to see the equipment responding.
Orr's assessment of the arsonist's activities was probably right on the money. That's because Orr, chief arson investigator for Glendale, California, was the arsonist responsible for at least some of the fires. In 1987, Orr traveled to a conference in Fresno. At the same time, 7 arson fires erupted in Fresno and along the road authorities believe Orr might have taken on his way home. Then, in 1989, Orr attended another arson conference in Pacific Grove. 6 arson fires exploded, again all near the route authorities believe he probably drove. All 13 fires bore striking similarities. But what is really bizarre is that these fires seem to have been the basis for a book John Orr wrote about a fireman turned serial arsonist. Finally, investigators were convinced they had their man when they discovered the contents of Orr's attaché case. In it were videotapes of fires and incendiary devices. Officials believe that Orr set the fires and then videotaped them. Doug McCann is John Orr's attorney.
So that's something for him normally to possess, our tapes of fires as an arson investigator. There's nothing incriminating about having those particular videotapes.
Last December, John Orr was arrested on arson charges. While under house arrest awaiting trial, he gave an exclusive interview to Inside Edition. He says he was totally surprised by his arrest.
I'd come out of my house on my way to work like I do every day of the week, 5 days a week, and starting to get into my car and was suddenly surrounded by about 18 to 20 federal and local investigators.
Orr says his expertise as an arson investigator led to a series of articles he wrote under the heading Profiles in Arson, including one called The Serial Fire Setter. Those, he said, led to his manuscript called Points of Origin.
I just felt it was timely to give my hand at writing a novel.
They worked backwards to put a case on Captain John Orr. So that's what they've done. Without the manuscript, he would never have been arrested.
As his trial date neared, Orr told us he was using his vast experience as an investigator to clear his name.
It's just as busy now as I used to be. It's the biggest investigation I've ever been involved in.
But a jury did not believe Orr's defense. Less than 2 weeks ago, he sat silently as a jury pronounced him guilty on 3 counts of arson. He now faces up to 30 years in prison.
Jury trials, sometimes people are acquitted, sometimes they're found guilty, and oftentimes it's not a reflection of reality.
Obviously a bittersweet type of victory because he was a law enforcement professional, and it's always a very tough thing to see somebody like that actively involved in law breaking, especially something that involves such a great risk of life.
It is not yet over for John Orr. He faces similar charges in 2 other California counties. Coming next, as we continue from Boston's Public Gardens, did a New England man pull off a daring art heist?
Mr. McDevitt, can I speak to you? I'd like to speak to you about the Gardner art heist. Did you steal those paintings?
Travel arranged through Continental. One airline can make a difference. What's the difference? For the price of regular coach, a first-class seat. That's the difference on Continental.
On Wednesday, he made $1 million shooting at police. It has been called the most brazen art theft in history. $200 million worth of artwork by Rembrandt and other famous painters was stolen from the Gardner Museum here in Boston. 2 years later, the paintings are still missing. But there is one interesting development. It seems someone in Hollywood who claims to be a screenwriter was convicted of attempting another art theft. And some say the scenarios in both cases are very similar. Janet Tamaro with our story.
It is still considered the world's #1 art heist. Nearly 2.5 years ago, about $200 million in art treasures was stolen from the Gardner Museum in Boston.
Oh, it's definitely a loss to humanity because it's a whole whole body of work of cultural artifacts that are no longer accessible to anyone.
Those treasures included 3 works of Rembrandt, this famous Jan Vermeer, one of only 32 Vermeers left in the world, an Edouard Manet, 5 Edgar Degas paintings, and several other great works, art that is so well known, museum officials doubt they can ever be fenced.
They're highlighted in the catalogs. I don't really think it was someone who knew all that much about art, or else they would have been more, I think, sophisticated in what they did.
But they were sophisticated enough to have the theft compared to the famous 1950 Brinks heist. In the early morning of March 18, 1990, 2 men dressed as Boston police officers told museum guards they were investigating a disturbance call. But once inside, the phony cops bound and gagged the guards, then quickly cut the paintings from their frames before escaping.
It's too early in the investigation at this point to say that we're focused on any particular area.
For a year, the FBI had no leads, and then museum workers from a small museum in Glen Falls, New York, remembered a failed attempt to steal paintings from the Hyde Museum that seemed remarkably similar to the Gardner theft. The would-be thief at the Hyde Museum was 20-year-old Brian McDevitt, a slick young con man who had convinced everyone in town that he was a wealthy writer. He was instead living off of $100,000 he'd stolen from a safe deposit box. Maybe the money was running out when in December of 1980, McDevitt and accomplice Michael Moray planned an elaborate theft to steal paintings from the Hyde Museum. They hijacked a Federal Express truck, put on uniforms, and headed to the museum to steal what police say would have amounted to $50 million in paintings. But traffic held the pair up, and they arrived after the museum closed. They were arrested, Moray confessed, and the 2 were convicted of unlawful imprisonment and attempted grand larceny. After serving just a few months of his time, Michael Moray turned over a new leaf and lives with his wife in upstate New York. Brian McDevitt moved to Boston to attend the University of Massachusetts, but by 1988, he'd racked up 3 larceny convictions. Soon after the Gardner robbery, Brian McDevitt's neighbors say he abruptly left Boston without leaving even a forwarding address. He reportedly told close friends that he was coming here to Hollywood to, quote, reinvent himself. One of his first stops was here at the Writers Guild, because Brian McDevitt had now decided that he was going to be a writer. Ben Pollack met McDevitt at a Writers Guild meeting and was so impressed with him, he agreed to join McDevitt's new production company.
He told me that he wrote on Hope and Glory, the movie Hope and Glory, that he wrote a ghost wrote Soap Dish that he had been writing regularly for Married with Children and The Wonder Years. And he told me and everyone else there that he was a short story writer for many years for The New Yorker. And that he had also been writing in the Harper magazine, and that he had won the Hemingway Award and the O. Henry Award.
But Pollack later checked out McDevitt's story.
Well, I found out that he never wrote anything on any television show, that he never won any awards, he never had anything published, and he never had anything produced. He was just a total fake, complete 100% liar.
McDevitt's attorney denies that McDevitt made up credits.
People should also keep in mind the fact that we're talking about Hollywood, that people out there do what's commonly called puffing about their own reputation. You and I might call it exaggeration. Some other people may call it outright lies, which is commonplace out there.
But on July 13th, the Writers Guild kicked McDevitt out of its union, saying he'd been expelled for material misrepresentation of his employment history. But McDevitt had potentially more serious trouble. The FBI had been questioning him about the Gardner theft.
Based on his background, that he had been involved in a prior attempted robbery of an art museum, and the fact that he was living in Boston at the time of the Gardner Museum robbery. I think those are the only two factors, basically, that sent the FBI in his direction.
But many have noted the similarities between the two crimes. Both times there were two thieves, and they attempted to get into the museum wearing uniforms. McDevitt carried tools to cut the paintings from their frames in the Hyde attempt, as had the Gardner thieves. And the two museums have similar layouts and collections.
There's no doubt in my mind that he was not involved in any way whatsoever in the Gardner Museum robbery.
Though his attorney told us McDevitt was unavailable for an interview, we found him in the parking lot of an LA restaurant.
Mr. McDevitt, can I speak to you? I'd like to speak to you about the Gardner art heist. Did you steal those paintings?
But McDevitt ran across 4 lanes of traffic to get away from our camera.
Guys, you're gonna get killed. Okay, here we go.
Why can't you talk to us about it? Are
Because
you a
my
suspect
attorney
again?
has to clear all of those things. Now you know that.
We're running around in circles here. You know we've been to your attorney, and you know your attorney has told us that you won't talk to us. So I'm coming
My
to you
attorney
directly.
hasn't said that I won't talk to you. He's advised me to handle all of those things himself.
Which means that you don't want to talk about it.
No,
Are you innocent? Are you innocent?
Whatever he tells me to do, I'm going to do.
Please.
This look like the vehicle of the aren't they?
So far, the FBI will not confirm or deny whether or not McDevitt is a suspect. But no matter who the thief is, the Gardner Museum believes they'll someday see their paintings again.
Well, I am optimistic because I know these works cannot be sold, and they're so famous that, you know, as soon as anyone offers them, they will know that they're stolen works of art.
There is now a $1 million reward leading to the recovery of the stolen paintings. Meantime, Brian McDevitt is still living in Hollywood and currently working to sell the rights to his life story. What's it about? A former felon who's persecuted for past crimes. And we will be back in Boston's Public Gardens right after this.
How could this happen? They've taken the secret.
Europeans are upset. The Kellogg's Muesli cereal uses their secret recipe.
This we kept in the family.
After all, they've been guarding this delicious secret forever. Ah, but this luscious blend of sweet fruit, crunchy nuts, and crisp whole grains was destined to become Kellogg's Mueslix.
Angelina, you told?
It wasn't me. I swear.
Kellogg's Mueslix, the European secret for great taste.
Boy, oh boy, it's gonna surprise you. You'll never believe what you're getting into. It's Saints her way. Oh, I hardly recognize you. Just wait till we get our hands on you. Wait, ooh, can't wait, can't wait. Just wait till we get our hands on you.
And now here's what's upcoming on Inside Edition.
I just feel like he's just a little lamb that walked to his slaughter.
They were kids who were supposed to be learning military values. Instead, police say they learned how to kill. Some call it a lawless gang. And when Alexander exposed its crimes, police say his pals drummed him out of the club for good.
He made a mistake, and someone decided to take care of him.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today in Boston. Thanks again for watching Inside Edition. I'm Bill O'Reilly. We'll see you tomorrow. Hello, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Coming up, the man shooting at these policemen is about to make $1.2 million. Inside Justice Gone Mad. Stay tuned for Inside Edition. Hello, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Coming up after the news, the man shooting at the police is about to make $1.2 million. Inside Justice Gone Mad on Inside Edition. Watch carefully. The man shooting at police is about to make $1.2 million. Inside Edition shows you Justice Gone Mad.
I'm only protecting myself and my home, my property.
By shooting at police?
He's getting paid because of sympathy.
If you were on the jury, would you have given him all that money? Don't miss an all-new Inside Edition. On the inside, it's a whole different story.
Watch carefully. The man shooting at police is about to make $1.2 million. Inside Edition shows you Justice Gone Mad.
I'm only protecting myself and my home, my property.
Watch an all-new Inside Edition. Watch carefully. The man shooting at the police is about to make $1.2 million.
I'm only protecting myself and my home, my property.
Inside Justice Gone Mad. Watch Inside Edition. The man shooting at the police is about to make $1.2 million. Inside Justice Gone Mad. Watch Inside Edition. He made $1 million shooting at police. Watch Inside Edition. He made $1 million shooting at police. Watch Inside Edition.
I'm only protecting myself and my home, my property.
He's getting paid because of sympathy.
This is Bill O'Reilly coming up on Inside Edition, a man who made $1 million shooting at police.